5 Habits That Will Make You Rich According to the Bible, Bob Proctor. In this video, you will learn about the 5 habits that, according to the Bible, lead to prosperity. Have you ever wondered what sets prosperous people apart from those who are not? Have you questioned why some can grow financially while others always face difficulties? Do you feel that your financial life is stagnant and not progressing? While many attribute prosperity, or the lack thereof, to the government, the system, or income distribution, it is important to note that these factors influence, but do not determine. According to a report by Flux, 60% of multimillionaires built their fortunes on their own merit. Now, the central question: what leads someone to become wealthy? What drives prosperity? Pay attention, financial results are achieved through financial habits. To become rich, habits that lead to wealth are necessary. We are, to a large extent, the result of our choices. The Bible surprisingly reveals what these enriching habits are. The sacred scriptures indicate the paths to financial progress, and these are the habits I will present in this video. We start with an important caveat: the Bible does not promise financial wealth to anyone, not even faithful Christians. This means that we should not demand wealth from God for following biblical principles. However, it is undeniable that those who follow the financial principles of the scriptures are more likely to experience spiritual, family, and financial prosperity. In summary, by following biblical advice, you are more inclined towards financial prosperity, but you should not demand it from God or negotiate with Him. With that statement made, let's move on to the 5 habits that enrich, according to the Bible. Habit number 1: living below your means. The first enriching habit is living with less than you earn. It means not spending all that you receive, setting aside a portion of your earnings. This is what the Bible recommends. Remember the story of Joseph in Egypt during the 7 years of abundance, followed by the 7 years of scarcity? Living below the means allowed Egypt to face scarcity and thrive in the midst of the crisis. This advice is also present in Proverbs 21 verse 20, which says, "Desirable treasure and oil are in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man devours them." Unfortunately, most people do not have the habit of living below their means, spending all they receive. To thrive financially, it is essential to adopt this habit. Habit number 2: having more than one source of income. The second enriching habit is to have multiple sources of income. As the saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Why shouldn't we put all our eggs in one basket? Because if that basket falls, we'll lose all the eggs. The obvious way to minimize risks is to divide the eggs into several baskets. Having only one source of income is akin to putting all your eggs in one basket. It doesn't matter if you have had a stable job for a long time or if you are self-employed. It doesn't matter if you have had a successful business for years. Relying solely on one source of income is very risky because jobs are not lifelong, businesses can go bankrupt, and salaries, including those of public servants, can become obsolete. Unexpected events are likely to occur sooner or later. Consider what Ecclesiastes 11 verse 6 says, "Sow your seed in the morning and do not be idle in the evening, for you do not know whether morning or evening sowing will succeed, or whether both alike will be good." Take my advice, cultivate the habit of having multiple sources of income. It is a habit that develops over time and is practiced daily. I have friends who have this habit, and whenever I spend time with them, I learn a lot. They reinforce the idea of creating income sources. I remember a day in a restaurant with one of these friends. As we had lunch, we analyzed how it could be improved and stabilized. We observed the cash register and suggested they should offer desserts, chocolates, and sweets for customers who had just finished their lunch. We observed the behavior of customers, and quickly, we had ideas about what they should offer in the restaurant to increase profitability. Seriously, those who have the habit of generating income sources are always seeing possibilities. Develop this habit as well. Habit number 3, have an emergency fund. The third habit is to have an emergency fund. An emergency fund refers to saved money that can only be used in case of emergencies, whether it's a positive emergency, like studying abroad, or a unique business opportunity, or seemingly negative emergencies, such as unemployment or health issues. It surprises me that people still don't realize the enriching power of having an emergency fund. Personally, I wonder if people knew how enriching it is to have a fund, everyone would have one. Look at what happened in Egypt when they created an emergency fund during the 7 years of plenty. You know the financial power the pharaohs had. Now, we have an idea through the Bible, historical records, and archaeological evidence. A significant portion of that power was gained through the emergency fund created by Joseph. Egypt's financial reserve prospered like never before. Some may argue that Egypt only created an emergency fund because they knew there would be 7 years of abundance. You should create a fund only if you know there will be unforeseen events. Well, listen to me, unforeseen events will always happen, in fact, they are foreseen. That's what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 9 verse 1, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. It doesn't matter if you serve God, follow His commandments and statutes, you are not exempt from unforeseen events. It is wiser to be prepared to face them. And one way to prepare is with an emergency fund. After all, money serves as a defense. That's what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12, for wisdom is a defense, as money is a defense, but the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those who have it. So, the emergency fund, besides having a high potential for defense, is also an enriching habit. I say this from personal experience. If you've been following me for some time, you probably know that I was unemployed after getting married. This happened shortly after the wedding when I took on new financial commitments. Losing my job could have ruined many lives, but thankfully, at that time, I already knew the biblical teachings about the emergency fund. Thank God, I had already created a fund that could sustain me for over a year. Thanks to God, it was through that fund that I could fulfill my dream of dedicating myself full-time to transforming lives through biblical teachings on finances, without the need for a fixed job, without facing the daily chaos of traffic in my city. Habit number 4, investing. Remember that the enriching habits mentioned here, such as living below your means, are one of the reasons why you should live below your means to be able to invest. It is undeniable that developing the habit of investing in stocks, real estate funds, fixed income, properties, businesses, or other products will lead to a much more prosperous financial life. At various times, the Bible exhorts us about investment. One of these moments can be perceived in the parable of the talents told by Jesus in Matthew 25. In summary, this parable tells the story of a master who distributes his wealth among his servants according to their abilities. Some servants invested what they received and multiplied their wealth, but one servant kept what he received and did not invest. Confronting him about this attitude, the master said, "You should have entrusted my money to the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest." Matthew 25 verse 27. Everything we have belongs to God, and He wants us to multiply the resources He entrusts to us. Yes, our spiritual, familial, and financial resources should be multiplied. I repeat, if you truly want a more prosperous, financial life, you need to learn to invest. After all, it was decided that you could stop working for money by investing. It is true investment that you put money to work for you. It is true investment that you will achieve your financial freedom. I won't lie, acquiring the habit of investing is not easy at the beginning, especially when it comes to investments and financial products. Initially, you may feel fear about opening an account with a brokerage, transferring money to the brokerage, choosing the financial products to invest in, whether fixed or variable income. My advice is not to let fear prevent you from investing. Over time, you will learn, feel more secure, and results will start to appear. The fifth enriching habit, according to the Bible, is seeking wisdom. Proverbs says, "Blessed is the man who has wisdom, the man who gains understanding. For the profit it brings is better than the profit of silver, and its gain better than gold." The path to financial prosperity inevitably goes through wisdom. But what is wisdom? One of the best definitions of wisdom says it is knowing what to do. It is knowledge applied in practice. Remember well, wisdom is knowing what to do. It is knowledge applied in practice. I want to emphasize this because knowledge alone has little value. What is more valuable is for example, many know that it is important to save, but few have the wisdom to save truly. Upon hearing what I said here about the importance of living below your means, unfortunately, few will have the wisdom to do so. See what Proverbs 13 verse 16 says, "Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool spreads folly." That's how it is. You need to go beyond knowledge and, speaking of personal finances, you need to know smart ways to make money, you need to know about passive income, you need to know about emergency funds, you need to know about investments, local stocks, foreign stocks, investment funds, fixed income, and so on. But more than knowing, you need to acquire wisdom, that is, you need to put into practice what you know. Here are the 5 enriching habits: living below your means, having more than one source of income, having an emergency fund, investing, seeking wisdom. I have 2 pieces of news for you, one good and one not so good. The good news is that each of these habits can radically improve your life. I speak from personal experience, as I saw a significant improvement in my life with each habit I was able to acquire, with each habit I was able to implement. When I started living below my means, my life improved. The same happened when I started to have more than one source of income. Likewise, when I created my emergency fund, I also experienced improvements. When I started investing and when I tirelessly sought financial wisdom. The not so good news is that these habits are not easy to acquire, meaning you won't achieve each of these habits overnight. But be patient with yourself. Take one step at a time. I take this opportunity to recommend a book, The Power of Habit. This book can help you a lot in acquiring new habits. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments. A strong hug. May God be with you, and until next time. I hope you found this video incredible and useful. Remember, if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Until next time.